There comes a moment in life, maybe it's after a quiet Sunday dinner or a slow walk around the block, where you just feel it, that quiet tug in your chest. Maybe it's a memory of someone you loved, or a question you've carried for years but never said out loud. Maybe it's the way the light falls across the kitchen table, and for just a second you wonder, where did the time go? It's not regret exactly. It's something softer, deeper, a quiet ache, a longing to make sense of it all, to understand what really mattered, and maybe still does. I've sat across from thousands of people over the years, men and women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. Some come in with aches or worry, others just want someone to listen. And what I've come to see, again and again, is that there are stories hidden inside every wrinkle, behind every tired smile. Stories of life, stories of love, and stories of lessons that, if we listen closely, can change us. So today, I want to tell you some of those stories. Real ones. From right here in the United States. From people who've lived through war and weddings, lost friends and found faith, raised children and said goodbye to parents. People like you. People like the ones you love. But before I do, let me say this. If I could sit down with every person over 60, if I could hold their hand and look them in the eyes, I would share this one truth. Your story matters more now than ever. Not just for what you've lived through, but for what you still carry, for what you can still teach, for the quiet legacy you leave behind, whether you realize it or not. Let me start with a man named Harold. He's 78 now, retired from a lifetime of driving trucks across the highways of America. Salt of the earth kind of man, wore the same leather boots for 40 years. When he first came to see me, he sat across from me with tears in his eyes. "Doc," he said, "I spent my life moving, always somewhere to be, but I missed the moments that mattered." Harold lost his wife 2 years before that. Said he barely remembered their last Christmas together. Not because of dementia or anything like that, but because he was so busy, even in retirement, fixing things, mowing the lawn, checking the bank account. "I thought providing was how I loved her," he whispered. "But I didn't sit with her enough. I didn't listen." I see that kind of quiet sorrow more than you'd imagine. Not just in men like Harold, but in women too. Women who raised children who now live 3 states away. Women who gave and gave and gave, and now sit by the window, wondering if anyone sees them anymore. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not too late to give meaning to the moments we do have left. Harold started something beautiful. Every Wednesday, he writes a letter to his grandchildren. Not emails, letters, with stamps. He tells them stories of the road, stories of their grandma, stories of his younger days working on a farm in Indiana. And something happened. Those kids, they started writing back. At first, just "Thanks, Grandpa," but then longer, more honest, more heartfelt. One of his grandsons even said, "Grandpa, I didn't know life used to be like that. I didn't know you used to cry." You see, when we share our stories, we don't just remember. We connect. We remind the ones we love where they came from, what matters, what lasts. Then there's Marie. She's 84, grew up in Georgia, lived through segregation, raised 6 kids on a teacher's salary, lost her youngest to a car accident in 1997 and her husband to cancer 10 years later. She's been through more than most people could carry. But when I asked her what kept her going, she smiled and said, "I forgive every day. That's my medicine." Marie writes down 3 things every morning. Something she's grateful for, someone she forgives, and something she hopes for. Even now, especially now. She says, "Hope keeps my heart soft." But this is where so many people go wrong. They think once they hit a certain age, It's all about survival. Staying out of the hospital, taking pills, getting through the day. And while yes, those things matter, they're not the whole story. The heart needs more than just medicine. It needs meaning. And meaning comes from looking back with honesty and looking forward with tenderness. Sometimes, the hardest thing is not the physical pain. It's the silence. The feeling that no one wants to hear your story anymore. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. Your children may not ask, but they want to know. Your grandchildren may not understand yet, but they need your wisdom. So what's the lesson? Don't wait to be asked. Share it anyway. Start a little journal. Record yourself talking. Send a voice memo. Sit down with someone you love and say, "Can I tell you a story I haven't shared before?" You'd be surprised how healing it is, for you and for them. You remember a man named Carlos from New Mexico, Vietnam vet. Never talked about it, not even with his wife. But he told me once, "I still see things, Doc, in my sleep. I keep it in because I don't want to burden anyone." And I said to him gently, "Carlos, it's not a burden, it's a bridge. It connects you to others who feel alone." He joined a local group for veterans, started painting as therapy. He paints sunsets now, says they remind him of what's still good. He gave one to his granddaughter for her birthday. She hung it above her bed and wrote a note that said, "I didn't know you had so much in you, Grandpa. I want to learn more." Do you hear what I'm saying? You still have so much in you, not just memories, but meaning, not just history, but healing, not just stories, but strength. If you're someone in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, you are not past your prime. You are the living library of your family, the roots that hold the trees steady, the quiet wisdom that this world so desperately needs. And if you're someone watching this who loves someone older, your parent, your aunt, your neighbor, ask them. Ask them about their first love, about the hardest day of their life, about the time they laughed so hard they cried. Ask them before it's too late. There's a gentleman I know, Joseph, 91 years old, lives in a nursing home in Michigan. Not many visitors these days. But once a week, a local high school sends a student over to interview him for a class project. He told me, "It's the highlight of my week. They look me in the eye. They treat me like I still matter." And you do matter. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. And you are not alone. You are part of a long, unbroken chain of love and loss, courage and kindness. You are here, still breathing, still becoming. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Sit down somewhere quiet. Put your hand on your chest. Feel it, the beating of your story. Still going, still strong. Then ask yourself, what part of my story have I not told yet? Maybe it's the time you almost gave up, but didn't. Maybe it's how you met the love of your life. Maybe it's a mistake you made and what it taught you. Or a dream you still carry quietly, even now. Write it down. Speak it out. Share it with someone. Because these stories, they are not small. They are the soul of our lives. They are what connect us. And in a world that's rushing faster every day, your slow, steady voice matters more than ever. If you're still with me, thank you. Truly. It means you care about your life, and maybe someone else's too. And that's what makes all the difference. So I'll leave you with this. You are here for a reason. Your story still matters. Your love still echoes. And your lessons, your hard-earned, beautiful lessons, can change someone else's life. So tell me, which one of these stories spoke to you the most? Let me know in the comments. I read them, I care, I'm listening. And I'm so very glad you're he.